Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's 10:58 p.m. Mountain Time, and it is Thursday, November 7th, 2019. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the den. Welcome to the power circle. Man, what a day. On this day, Captain H, Prime Minister of the American Slave Nation, he and I had an interview today. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, please do that. Definitely an interview full of information, and that is what the new trend will be, is information. He and we discussed a little bit about that, the transition from industrial and just a bunch of heavy information, man. And please check it out. Check out the video we'll have in there and the link. I'll have this link posted here. I'm actually on Spreaker Studio, and if anybody's listening, please check out the YouTube page. Right now we have it as American Slave Nation CO or American Slave Nation Colorado. I'll have a link in the description of the YouTube video, or you can go to my Avery Fennell or the Descendants of American Slave Facebook pages. I just want to be clear real quick. I want to use this time to set the record straight. I am not a racist. I don't believe in segregation. I don't believe in treating someone different because of the color of their skin. I think a lot of us and most of us are more racist, not even necessarily racist, just more of less tolerance towards ignorance. So let's get the record straight. I'm not a racist. I don't own the rights to this music. I just saw the title says 83's babies. 80s babies, stand up. This is our moment. I'm a coach, so I tend to motivate people. And I can't help but to really see this as an opportunity to motivate my generation. I'm from Oklahoma. I've moved to Arizona, Kansas. I haven't really been too much. I've been there, Georgia. I haven't been too many places, but I have this spiritually led passion to feel an importance to motivate just my generation. I don't care about the generation before for some reason. I do care about the generation of my children, but I think that to really genuinely care about a generation for my children is to operate within the mass group of people that are in leadership now, and it's the 80s baby. Stand up. Let me find the round of applause button. It's somewhere around here. I know I've seen it. People clapping. There we go. Get that button. 80s baby, stand up. Yeah. It's the real deal, man. I'll tell you this, 80s babies, we really need to fall back on this beef we have with religion. Like, listen, and let's put this out there. I don't own the rights to this music either. I don't even know why people say that, but I'm gonna just keep saying it. Let's put the record straight. The beef with religion is made up and just a way to make us feel comfortable about our decision making thereafter. I think not only our Heavenly Father, not only ourselves, but I think it's fair to say that between the ages of 16 to 28, we're expecting somebody to really, that's probably the time to where you can just dive on in and do it and experience. That is the whole purpose of human being, is the experiences of life and situations that we endure during those experiences. Like that memory bank, you know what I'm saying? We can always filter back to that. We'll always be able to die with that. And to me, that's an energy that will always be something that we can always call on. It takes a while sometimes to think of things, but that memory will always be with us even when we die. So we always have an opportunity to rewrite those memories. We have an opportunity to sustain those memories. I think that right now more than ever, we need to really kind of figure out the best way to make that possible, to be sustainable human beings. And really, in my opinion, in order to do that, we have to identify who we are and what we're putting out, the consumption that we're doing, and so forth. And understand the reason why we want to understand that is because we have children. And one day you'll have children. And the whole purpose of humanity is to expand, to continue what we've created. It would be pointless then. And so the general idea would be to look at within self, understand and see what we're consuming and putting and what we're putting out. Um, and then it's such a long roller coaster whenever you want to look in terms of sustainability, but it's important. But from there, you pay close attention to opportunity, and how do you capitalize on being a sustainable human being? Um, there's opportunity in it. So you kind of reflect on that. And so you find a direction and foundation and you set forth on it. But it really takes a soul look at yourself. Within yourself, you can't help but to be identified as a color on the statistics sheet. And how many blacks are there? How many whites are there? And so you will, as part of your identification process, will become aware of the importance of your nation, your heritage. There's burdens that are passed on that it's fair to be aware of, so that a way you can create tools to prevent some of those shortfalls of burdens from those burdens. And so I think, and for my white family, my Mexican family, thank you for all that you've done. And growing up as a young man, and some of the things you may or may not heard were probably true. And I'm sorry, but it was part of my learning process, stemming from a long journey of facts, of slavery, of conditioned way of thinking. And I think right now, not only should I identify where I've come from, we all should be able to take that look right now. When have we done that? So, American slaving, descendants of American slaves is my identity. We're broken. We're a broken culture and heritage. We've never had one. Who am I to sit back and just be like, with the tools that I have? It was a blessing for me to be taken in by the families that I've been taken in by. They were all business owners. On an osmosis level, I subconsciously absorbed their behavior and what they stood for and their morals. And I love white people. I love Mexican people. You know what I mean? I love people in general, but I have personal experiences with Mexican and white people, and I love them. Our world and our country will work smoother if we can get behind descendants of American slaves, right our wrongs in that situation, understand on a adult level that a collective consciousness is what's needed right now, because we can get into the supernatural and the climate change and the space and the planet, and we'll get into that in a different topic, but there's real life circumstances that we're not prepared for. And the only way that we can be prepared for them is by realizing where we're coming from, how do we get to where we want to go, and where we're currently at, and where we want to go. So where we're coming from, how do we get to where we're at now, and how do we get to where we're going? I don't care if you're a billionaire, a millionaire. Well, a billionaire probably has a little bit more say so. If all shit hits the fan, he's able to hop on probably a ship and leave the planet. Or he's probably got his sperm migrated or someplace on a different planet. Or I know, being sober now, that I didn't fight this fight for no reason, and I didn't have children for no reason after being sober, and it's about sustaining those efforts of how I'm able to maintain sober and putting it and applying it to my life. And as I'm doing that, I'm seeing that the whole thing, all this is for no reason if what's around me is not sustainable. So we got to talk on shit like this. Thank you, Captain H. Dude, follow him, man. This is a sharp brother, man. And everybody of the American nation, I think it's really time for you guys to kind of be proud of the opportunity, especially from this dirt that we have come from. Especially anybody that's a descendant of slave, or I don't care if you're a Caribbean slave. This is where we're at. Even if it just stops at this conversation, we're able to talk about, we have come from great civilizations previous to this one that were built up by armies of slaves. And we're here to talk about the opportunity of being freer than ever. Wow. And this all applies to life because the business you're working on, those clients you're trying to get, that's all for no reason if it's not sustainable. If you don't have the client with the money to be able to afford the services that you're offering, you're doing it for no reason. If you do not have the empowered consumer that we need now more than ever to purchase, oh, my hands are dry. I just ruined the whole video. Oh my god! If we don't have the consumer power to purchase what you're building, the services that you're building right now, you're building for no reason. America's doomed. There's no housing market to prepare for. There's no need for the construction company. There's no need for the ordering of the new vans because we don't have anybody who's going to be able to afford the shit. I think it's so important that we individually, as our own individual cultures, go within, look at our weakest link, provide services for our weakest link. People that are in limbo, curious about if you should do it or not. If you're hearing this podcast or you're watching this video, do it. Quit putting off destiny. You're gonna feel the same way next week, especially if you're high. When you come down, this shit gonna hit you. Trust me. So I'm ranting at this point. I'm gonna keep going. I feel thankful. I think today was a real monumental moment, personally for me. And there really is a nation, a slave nation. Like, who would be proud to be a slave? And you look at the characteristics that it should have built up to this point on a scientific standpoint. Slavery is built supreme. If you stemming from slavery, you supreme DNA. Your mind tight, creative, making up these crazy songs and these dances, all while getting your ass beat. Ugh. That's the mindset, though. We got people out here putting that thing in their waist, doing whatever. Make a balance, man. Get behind this wave. We need all gang support. We need you to stop that low key hating if that's what you're out there doing and get on code. I'm on code. The best leader is the one that knows how to follow. You ain't stupid. You ain't gonna do nothing that's against your morals. And to my people that are Hispanic, white, this is business opportunities. We're talking about building up a whole nation in a direction of a proper way of doing business. The advantage or the disadvantage that we've had this whole time. There's systems in place. There's people in place, man. It's time for us to look at the bitterness that there is and get rid of it. It's time to boss up. Rapper, basketball player, you're not bossing enough if you're not on some rebuild. And I'm talking from every nationality. This is get money season 80s, baby. This is how we establish our new, like the baby boomers have done. We sitting back like everybody wants to make it about race. Oh no. Oh no, don't make it about race. Boy! It's about race. You can't run from that color. That's your shield. What's inside of you is filtered through a thinking process. And sometimes people like me, excuse me, I was completely attached to a string. There was a good portion of my life I was doing shit and I didn't even realize. I don't even know why I was doing it. I had these habits and I didn't even know why I had these habits. And, I've done research and it was compulsiveness, but there's a lot of DNA behind that. There's a lot of trained behavior behind that has been passed on. But nonetheless, we need to be understanding of that, of those natures popping up and boss up to it. Um, and a lot of it starts with the bitterness, man. Pick up the book, America's Little Black Book by Shelton Norris. Excuse me, Norris Shelton. I think that's the name. I don't have the book on. I don't want to get up. That would look a little ghetto. It's by Norris Shelton, America's Little Black Book. Norris Shelton, pick that up, man. No matter your race, please pick that up. This is what our world economy needs is this agenda, this vision, and this awakening to happen. I really don't feel there's a way that anybody can provide any resistance on this. Um, there's nothing but truth behind everything that's said in the book. There's nothing but truth behind the history that we're speaking on. So the rest is up to us, man. And literally, I believe the most and the heaviest weight is the bitterness. Um, and it comes up. It happens to all of us. Why I feel like I need to listen to this fool? Ugh. Obedient, discipline. Shut up and listen. Right? If you're coaching out there, you know what I'm talking about. We coach this to our kids. I say this to my kids: you shut up and listen. I have Tupperwares just shutting up and listening to my wife and other people, but it's a battle. You know what I'm saying? We can't hate on another person because it's important that I need to shut up and listen. He's talking or she's talking right now. There's no reason for me to pick and pry because I don't have an opportunity to talk and find reasons to hate. Get behind this wave, man. You're wasting everybody's time if you're not. Analyze the data, see what's going on, what we're talking about. In the meantime, you need to be your whole left foot in with your toes on the line on this side we're talking about. Inner city reinvestments. Good population, good majority of the people in the inner cities that are native to this country are black, that have never had a true agenda. And they're slaves that have never had a true agenda. The time is now. I've been created to have this mouth to talk about it. God tells me mum on certain things, and I mum on certain things. But this is something that everybody needs to be talking about. And if you're black or if you're Mexican, whatever race you are, here is business opportunity. The Rockefellers. Who else is it? Whoever. Here's the opportunity. I mean, really? So, a lot of great things coming up. Man, I'm up on 19 minutes. It's late, 11:16 p.m. Mountain Time. Everybody in here sleep. They're probably like, Dad, shut the hell up. If you're suffering from bipolar, manic bipolar, or depression bipolar, man, shouts out to you. It's a real thing. Hey, and another thing, listen, religion. Let's go back on that. 80s babies, come on now. Come on now. Going to church somewhere. It's a challenge, man. Pull up. Pull up. Walk out there with your head high. Like right now, the level of consciousness is so thick. Like if you on that certain wave and frequency, you could think, or you'll be thinking the same thing one of your partners is thinking, and y'all don't even really know it. So the level of consciousness is so, excuse me, so thick, and some of us are missing it, man. Um, Wake your crazy ass up. Um, and it really is. It is that there's a real divine nature behind all of this. I try to put a little humor on it so I won't get so emotional. there's a lot of us out there halfway activated, man. And there's really a lot of us out there faking it. And it bothers me because I'm part of one of those that, as a family member that has been affected, I've been affected to the condition of slave way of thinking. This isn't the time for hate, anger, divide, division, or excuse me, this isn't the time for hate, madness, divide, or division. This is a time for channeled anger to rewrite history. Here's a story of people that were slaves that were dysfunctional for this gap amount of time that rebuilt, and this is where they're at now. And every nation has that opportunity. There's so many grateful things to think about what other nations have brought to the table. Our economy, that whole system, some of the sacrifices. I keep forgetting about that ashy hand. That's a bad look. You have to do the dishes. So we come from a long road of just absolute chaos, man, and we have an opportunity as humanity to really, and it's really depending on the '80s babies because the baby boomers, like I said, man, they're all about to hit retirement at the same time. I'll be surprised if there won't be some miracle babies in some of these retirement homes because it's about to be going down at these retirement homes. But don't be confused about what's going on, man. Find your source, your energy source. No matter what it is, there's one there. That's what your string. That's where it starts from. Why you think this way? Why you hear those voices in your head? If you don't like them, if you don't like entertaining them anymore, tell them to go away. You rebuke them and create some art, baby. But you got to know what it is. You got to know what's there first, and you got to know it's right or wrong. And really, nobody even really knows what right or wrong is. So, but what makes me feel good about life and what makes me feel good about what I'm doing is what I'm doing, and to me, that's right. So, Christ and God has a lot to do that. Team Kanye over here. Everything he stands for right now, in terms of religion. Religion is really that spark. The rest is up to you. And we really can't be mad at the purpose of church. They're meant to support the community. I've been at the end of support from a church. Shouts out to the Assembly of God in Lawton, Oklahoma. They helped us on a bad end when we moved in from out of town and we couldn't afford our rent. So don't tell me churches don't serve a purpose. But that's where you need to go get recharged at. Take a couple weeks off, man, of whatever it is. Even if you out there moving a bag, whatever it is outside your moral compass that you have to do for all means right now. Take some time off, but in the meantime, get behind this wave because it's for the future of your heritage and culture. And a lot of people can make and create wealth off of the sole purpose of rehabilitating a nation and a country. Rewriting that wrong is, and it should be on everybody's bucket list. That any wrongs that I put out on behalf of my color and my skin and myself and my family, I'm weak and I'm a coward if I don't want to rewrite them in some way or fashion. So there comes a time to where we're awakened to that moral compass that we are strayed away from between the ages of 16 and 28. That's go have fun, get it. Try to stay within not going to prison. Try to stay within not killing somebody. Try to stay within, you know what I'm saying? But 16 to 28, get it. Stay away from this drug. Don't do that. Or sure, let's talk about this. Those are expectations. We need to be built for that as parents, 80s babies. That 30 mark, humanity needs to be their foundation. That's how they're going to get money. Because everybody's going to be on the same code of sustainability. Every government in every country, that's got to be it. Because we've come to a point of creation to where we're like, damn, what's next? Oh, wait, we got to make sure this continues, right? In the meantime, let's produce these people and human beings to be specialized in this sector. And right now, in certain communities and areas in urban communities, you don't have that vision and you don't have that direction to train for uh, future possible problems and scenarios of humanity ending crises. A lot of people in that wealth gap are made up of a certain color, and that color are pretty much the heirs of this country. That don't make sense to me. Um, there's other countries that are like that, when people come in and enforce their will and power, and their structure, and people have to live by that, and they win that battle. But ultimately, I'm a coach. I've taught a lot of kids. If you get knocked down, get your ass back up. And I don't say it in that terms, but I feel it with that passion. Get up. And I can't help but to apply that to my life. And I think if we apply that as a culture, watch out. And at that point, we'll be able to put our own systems in place and compete with the rest of the world. And we've been through pretty much every part and every corner of the world as slaves. We might as well be able to fairly play in the economic realm. And it takes education. It takes financial, economic education. It takes scholar. It takes industry building and development, and there's a movement, American Slave Inc. I'll put some links in the comment section that is in place, and we need to get on code. I'm recently new on code. It's personally been a spiritual journey for me. I've been notebooks and just putting everything that is already it's God has already led me in this direction. It's so weird, and I'm thankful for it. And He's not a lie, uh, and so it's a challenge, man. And it starts with you kind of looking at your current situation, and then all you have to do is apply B. You don't want to be doing this later. You don't want to be having to go out there and get this just for another week. You want to be greater than this. I want to be able to say, man, this is where I am, but this is where I am now. You know what I'm saying? It's all about be. Truly about being. Um, and on that philosophical level is where the black mind needs to go. Bitterness has no room for any of that. And if creating wealth and sustaining legacy for your family, and creating a God fearing and God liked like legacy for you and your name and your family, these are the requirements. Pick up the Little Black Book, America's Little Black Book by Norris Shelton. Norris Shelton. America's Little Black Book. Again, like I said, this all cram, and maybe over the last 3 months this is all like, God, thank you for showing me all this. Like, if you look back, I for whatever reason believe that I should be working towards becoming president of the United States, and I have all this data and information, these ideas and stuff to kind of rebuild our nation through inner city reinvestments. And so I created a platform with the Spreaker studio, and I've started talking on it, and Lord behold, there was a listener. God put it on their ear, and they've reached out, and they've got so much in place. Got to know where we're at to know where we're going. Got to know who we are to know who we want to be. And I'm new to this journey. A year and a half sober. I knew who I didn't want to be anymore, and I'm headed to who I want to be. And it's a journey, man. And togetherness, a slave nation, is how it'll work. Takes a boss to look. I'm out. Thanks for watching.